Hi there, welcome to QA Box Let's Test. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, kindly do so, and if you like the video, give them the thumbs up.
In this video, we are going to talk about a concept in JavaScript that is called as closures. But before we move on, let us take a look at a simple program. So there is a function which is created using function expression syntax. If you have not watched that video, I'll suggest you go and watch that first. Alright, so in this function, what we are doing is we are providing a parameter. Then we have created a local variable inside that function, and then we are adding this local variable and the parameter that we are passing, and that's what we are returning, right? So we can invoke this function using sum and these parentheses, and we can pass the argument. Now if we run that, we get 300, right? In one of the video we talked about inferred global, all right, and scopes into JavaScript. So what we can essentially do is we can also do something like this where num1 is equal to 100, okay, and then we can safely take this out. And when we execute this function, it is going to find this num1 first inside its local scope. If it doesn't find it, it will move up and go up to the global object to find out whether any such variable exists or not. In this case, the variable is existing at the global scope, so it will use this variable and will still see. Now we don't need to, of course, pass the argument, and when we run that, we still get 300 back. Okay. Now, how is that possible? This is possible because of the concept closures. Okay, so let us understand this. So this is a MDN web docs on closures. So closure is a combination of a function bundled together with references to its surrounding state, the lexical environment. In other words, a closure gives you access to an outer function scope from an inner function. In JavaScript, closures are created every time a function is created at function creation time. So we'll understand this part, outer function scope from an inner function. But before we do that, let us look at closure scope chain. So every closure has got three scopes: local scope, which is this variable, okay, global scope, which is the variable available at the global object, and the third one is outer function scope. We'll see that example in a while, but let's first check out whether this variable is available at the global object or not. So to do so, all we need to do is we have to do console.dir and just provide the name of the function. Let's execute that and open that. So if you look at the scope, there is a global object available, and if you expand that, so you will find num1 attached to this. So here is your num1. So num1 is equal to 100. So that's about globals. Now let's see an example for the outer inner function. Okay, and for that we are going to use this function just to save time, and I'll explain what this is. So this is my outer function, and inside that we have an inner function. So the inner function is accepting a parameter which is available at outer function, and inner function also has a parameter. So inside this inner function, all we are doing is we are adding this argument with this argument, okay, and at the end we are returning the inner add function. Simple. So how can we invoke that? So when we invoke outer add, we have to provide this argument, and this will return us what? This function. Okay, so we are storing that inside a variable, and then we are doing console.dir, and if we execute that and if we open this, again we go to the scope, And now we see one more thing added, closure, and it contains 5. So we are passing this 5 from an outer function to the inner function. Okay. So, and if you open the scope, this is our num2. All right. So in this, if you could see that local scope is what? Local scope is this num2, right? This one. This belongs to inner add. So hence it's a local scope. The other one is the outer scope. Okay, so outer scope in this particular case is what? This num1, and we can see that this is our closure. All right, outer add you could see, and then the last one is your global object. Okay, so this is about closures in JavaScript. Thank you.